Hello friends, Craig Ballard, Raptors Wrap, taking a look at a 2021-22 Toronto Raptor player profile, Gary Trent Jr. Trent Jr. coming over at the trade deadline last season along with the now departed Rodney Hood from the Portland Trail Blazers in exchange for popular Raptor Norm playoff Powell. Trent Jr. playing 15 games as a Raptor to end last season and did not disappoint. In fact, provided a ton of excitement, in my estimation anyway, in my eyes, going forward. He gave the Raptors 16 points per game, even had a few historic performances in those 15 games. I mean, I was really impressed and excited about this young man. And I say young man as he's going to turn 23 years young during the NBA season. I'm just really excited about the upside he has, in particular as a scorer, yes, but in particular as a shooter from downtown. We know the Raptors really rely and covet their three-ball attack. Well, Kyle Lowry did a lot of the heavy lifting for that three-ball attack. He, of course, gone now. So let's look for Gary Trent Jr. to pick up a lot of that slack, to be asked to do a lot of the heavy lifting for the Raptors from downtown. Personally, I think he's going to be up for it. Now, Craig's key for will he be up for it is going to be the Scotiabank Arena, home court for the Toronto Raptors. Going to need to see how Gary Trent Jr. feels about shooting in that arena. On that court, the sight lines, the ins and outs. Can he be comfortable, and in particular be comfortable from shooting anywhere along that arc, along that three-point arc at the Scotiabank Arena? In the offseason, Trent Jr. signed a 3-year, $54 million re-up with the Toronto Raptors. Now, that third year is a player option, and if I'm right about the upside and the development we're going to see from Gary Trent Jr., then very likely that 3-year contract becomes a 2-year contract, because likely Trent Jr. would opt out of that third season, looking to get that big extension that he will have earned with his play over these last few seasons. Now, as excited as I am about Trent Jr. on the offensive end, that's really for his own offense and his ability to create for himself. Not a great facilitator right now for his teammates, so the Toronto Raptors did have Trent Jr. really studying, taking as deep dive as possible in the offseason into their offensive playbook, trying to find ways to have him, A, understand how he can be a better facilitator for his teammates, and B, really important, trying to better understand where he can fit in the offense and be a little bit more effective, a little more efficient getting that three-pointer off. I'm almost feeling like Gary Trent Jr. is a little bit under the radar at this point. I don't hear a lot of people talking about him, and I'm really excited about this young man's offensive upside.